This is a video that I have thought about making for a while, but it wasn't until last week that I decided I really wanted to get my thoughts out there on this topic. And it's what I think is the worst part about photography, which might seem like a bit of a dismal topic, but stick around because most of it is going to be positive. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Greg. I'm a photographer from the UK, and today's video focuses on two different points, and it's imposter syndrome, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, and the negative photography community, or more accurately, the negative people within the photography community. Being on the receiving end of hate or negativity in the photography community can very quickly lead to imposter syndrome, and if you already have imposter syndrome, which I'm sure many people in the creative world do, it can lead you to being tunnel visioned and hyper focused on those negative comments or negative statements or anything like that. Now, I'm not here for the negative people in the photography community that tend to ruin the community. This video is not to address them. And the straight up fact is there will always be negativity across all art forms, across all media, across the entire planet. So you kind of just have to ignore it and carry on. But what I am here for is the aspiring photographers, the creative people that want to get their work out there, have a good time doing something they love. And being one of those people myself, I think my insight into this topic may be of value to anybody that is going through this now or going through it in the future. Imposter syndrome, if you don't already know what it is, the simplest way I can put it is that you literally feel like an imposter in a space that you do not belong, that your skills are not good enough, that you don't deserve your accomplishments, that you're a fraud, that you'll never be good enough to be a valuable person in that space. Who am I to talk about photography when I'm not even that good at it, etc, etc. Obviously, if you want a more in-depth explanation and you want to look into the psychology behind it, then definitely go and look it up. One can be completely consumed by imposter syndrome, and it can come and go just for fleeting moments. For example, I very regularly have moments where I sit and think, why would anyone want to watch my YouTube videos because I'm not Peter McKinnon or Nigel Danson? You could receive a comment that simply says your photos are boring and crap, and that could lead to a day or two of heightened imposter syndrome. Being a photographer that struggles with this myself, I've found one incredible way, not to wipe it out completely, but gain perspective and feel a bit better and bring you back to the happy creative side of life. And it's this: there is always somebody, always, either at your level or slightly behind you, that will find value in what you do, the work that you create, what you have to say and what you have to share. And in lots of cases, there are even people that are way more skilled and way more experienced than ourselves that just really love enjoying other people's journey and encouraging people that are slightly behind them, and just maybe have so much love for whatever it is, in this case photography, that they just want to support and engage with whoever in the community anyway, because they just love the craft that much. They don't care if they're a lesser skill level or have only been doing it for 6 months or anything like that. Even if you have just picked up a camera today for the very first time, there is also somebody else that has just picked up a camera for the first time that will enjoy talking to you, enjoy seeing your photos, and enjoy learning what you have to learn and sharing with each other. And it's not necessarily a case of we should only be engaging and supporting people on our own level. That's not the case at all. All I'm saying is it's a really fantastic reminder when you do have self-doubt that there are people out there on the same level as you or behind you that will really appreciate the work that you do. For anybody that watched my last video, yes, I've still got the 50mm on my camera, and I will still be taking all of the photos for the rest of this month on the 50mm, just in case anyone was like, you're cheating, you didn't take any photos today on your 50mm. I'm trying to tell myself lately, when I'm at a place, not to think about how it could be and how it could look, and instead photograph it for how it is and try and showcase the beauty of it how it is right then and there, which I do try to do anyway, but just a reminder, you know, today's full of reminders. I like this angle a lot here because you can see the side of the brickwork, you can see into it there, you can see that slanted bit of brickwork up the top there, and on the left hand side you can also see the path that comes up. So I really like this angle. Shame there isn't more left of it. I should probably clarify, this is an engine house, is that what you call it? Which would have had a huge mechanism inside and like a pulley, I'm assuming. Genuinely, my favourite part of this scene is the brickwork that tilts up at the top there, because it's catching the light nicely, and I think it's just like a little random addition that just looks really nice. Genuinely feel like I'm in some kind of James Bond setting here in Russia or something like that, but I'm not. I'm in England. Don't think there's many trains running through here. So something else I like to remind myself of when it comes to imposter syndrome is that the world cannot collectively all like the same thing. The population of the world cannot all like the same thing, meaning there is always somebody that will not like your photographs, and there's photographers out there that don't like sunsets, there's YouTube viewers that don't like tutorial videos, there's photographers out there that hate Sony, photographers out there that love Sony. I'm sure everybody's experienced one of their favourite music artists putting out an album that they don't really like, but another album of theirs could be one of your favourites of all time, and the same goes for anything really. So basically what I'm saying is, just remind yourself, if you do ever receive, you know, any negativity or an attack on you and your work, or somebody pointing out that your photos are boring to them or whatever, just remind yourself that it's fine. People don't have to like everything. So while it is perfectly fine for somebody to not really be that bothered about your photos or your work, and it's to be expected that there will be people out there that doesn't like it, what isn't fine are the people in the photography community that will outright attack other photographers. But just remember that those attacks and that negativity normally, in most cases, comes from somebody that's probably not really doing that much themselves. They're probably not going out with their camera much. They're potentially not really even putting much work out there themselves, so they've never had the feeling of being judged on the internet or in a gallery or anything like that. And I would even bet that maybe deep down the hatred and the attack comes from just being a little bit annoyed with themselves, perhaps. And I can say that with some fact behind it, because years and years and years ago, a young version of myself was in that very mind state. So I know it exists. I'd imagine it's very rare you'd see an extremely successful and well-established photographer attacking somebody else. I mean, you might see it, but I'd imagine it's rare, because someone well-established and successful and just having a fantastic time with photography hasn't got time for that. They're too busy focusing on their own work. Now for a bit of the reality of photography. And as I'm sure you all know, the reality of photography is that not every single photo you take can be at the top of your tier list. But again, that doesn't mean that you can't still like photos that aren't at the top of your skill set or sit in your top 5-10 images of all time. And it should definitely not hold you back from sharing those photos that you take each week or each month that aren't in those top 5-10 photos. And I've seen this completely cripple photographers. I've had friends in the past that would only share like 1 or 2 images a year because they would only feel comfortable putting out something that was optimum perfection, top quality, better than the last one they posted. And that's just not really what photography is about. I mean, pretty much all the photos I share in my YouTube videos don't make it into my top 20-30 photos, don't make it to my mastered gallery, but I still share them because they still all have valuable learning points, and it's still something I've created, and it's still part of the process. Plus, like I said, not everyone likes everything, so you could share something that you feel is your best photo of all time and there'd still be somebody that didn't like it, so you might as well share them all anyway. To finish off this video, I just wanted to leave you with a little something that, again, helps with imposter syndrome, helps negative comments feel like an annoying fly that you just swat away. And it's basically just remind yourself and take note of when you impress yourself, and make sure that you know that you've impressed yourself with your photography now and again, because the only person that matters, unless you're doing client work of course, that you impress with your photography is yourself. And if you are impressing yourself, then you can be sure that there'll be other people out there that are impressed too. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.